Traviskelce was taking a water break at the Chiefs' practice facility that warm October afternoon when his phone started vibrating non-stop on the bench beside him. Notification after notification flashed across the screen. Texts, mentions, breaking alerts. Patrick Mahomes glanced over with a grin that quickly turned to concern. "Dude, your phone's blowing up. Everything okay?" Travis picked it up, expecting a trade update or team announcement. But when he unlocked it, his chest tightened. His social feed was chaos, thousands of tweets, all under the same trending tag, Swift Kelce Prenup. At the top of his timeline was a tweet from one of the biggest celebrity gossip accounts in the world. Exclusive. Taylor Swift's prenup demands for Traviskelce revealed, 160 pages of shocking terms. Full breakdown below. Travis's fingers trembled as he tapped the thread open. With every line, his stomach dropped further. If they divorced before 5 years, he'd receive nothing. He'd have no claim to her music catalog, her homes, her future earnings. And the harshest clause of all, he'd be forbidden to ever discuss their relationship publicly, under penalty of $10 million. The locker room noise faded into static. She hadn't told him. They were getting married in 5 months and she hadn't told him. Patrick's voice broke through his daze. "Trav, you good?" "I need to go," Travis muttered, grabbing his phone. "Now." He left the field, ignoring the whistles and questions trailing behind him, heart pounding as he typed a message with shaking hands. "We need to talk. Now." Taylor's reply came almost instantly. "I'm here. What's wrong?" But Travis didn't answer. He was already on his way home. 20 minutes later, Travis pulled into their driveway, his truck tires crunching against the gravel. Taylor was already standing in the doorway, her hair pulled back, worry etched across her face. She must have been waiting for him, watching through the window. "Travis, what happened? You left practice early. You didn't answer my texts," she said, stepping forward. He held up his phone, the gossip thread still glowing on the screen. "Is this real?" Taylor froze. Her expression shifted. First confusion, then recognition, then dread. "Travis, I can explain. Is it real?" His voice was calm, but dangerously so. "Did you really have your lawyers draw up a prenup without telling me? Did you really put in there that if we get divorced before 5 years, I get nothing? That I can't talk about our relationship or I'll owe you $10 million? Tears filled her eyes. "Yes, but Travis..." "I understand perfectly," he cut her off, voice rising. "You're planning for our divorce before we've even said our vows. You think I'm some kind of gold digger who needs to be kept in check. You had your lawyers working on this for months, and you never said a word. That's not fair," Taylor said, her voice cracking. "You're taking this all wrong." "Then explain it," Travis snapped. "Explain how I'm supposed to feel reading online, along with the rest of the world, that my fiancé has been preparing for the day we fall apart." Tears spilled down her cheeks. "It wasn't supposed to leak. I was going to tell you this week. I was trying to find the right time." "There's no right time to say you expect your marriage to fail," Travis said, his voice breaking with hurt. "There's no gentle way to say, here's a document that proves how little you trust me." "Travis, please," she whispered. "Can we go inside? Can we just talk about this calmly?" He shook his head. "No, Taylor. I don't want to sit down and hear how this is actually a good thing. I want the truth. Do you think we're going to get divorced?" "What? No. Then why do you need a prenup?" Taylor's voice cracked under the weight of her own fear. "Because I have to protect myself," she shouted. "Because I've been hurt before, lied to, cheated on, used for my fame and my money. I've had exes sell stories about me, write songs about me, claim they deserved half of what I built. I can't go through that again." Travis's tone softened, but his words hit harder. "I'm not them, Taylor. I'm not Jake or John or anyone else who broke your heart. I'm me, the guy who's been here every day, proving that I love you, for you." Taylor's tears fell faster. "I know that. Do you?" he said quietly. "Because it sure doesn't feel like it." The wind outside carried a chill as the two stood on opposite sides of the doorway, her eyes red and pleading, his jaw tight with hurt that words couldn't cover. "It's not about you," Taylor whispered. "It's about me. about being careful, about not being naive again. It is about me, Travis said, his voice trembling now. Every word of that prenup is about me. What I can't have. What I can't say. What I'd lose. You might think you're protecting yourself, but all you've done is tell me you don't trust me. She reached for him, but he stepped back, shaking his head. Do you have any idea how humiliating this is? The whole world thinks I'm some guy trying to marry into your money. They think you're protecting yourself from me. And the worst part? You didn't even deny it. I didn't want it to happen this way, Taylor cried. I never meant for it to leak. I thought it was private. The leak isn't the problem, Travis said sharply. The prenup is the problem. The fact that you were ready to hand me 160 pages of legal disclaimers about why I don't deserve to be trusted, that's the problem. I have to protect my assets, she said defensively, her voice rising. I've worked for everything I have. My music, my career, my name, it's all mine, Travis. I can't risk losing it. I don't want your money, Travis shouted, finally losing control. I don't want your songs or your fame. I wanted you. I wanted the life we said we'd build together. But now I see. It's not a partnership to you. It's a contract. That's not fair, she cried again, but her voice was breaking. He stared at her, the anger in his eyes giving way to heartbreak. You keep saying that, but what's really unfair is that I've spent 2 years proving myself to you, loving you, protecting you, standing beside you, and it still wasn't enough. You still don't trust me. I do trust you, she insisted through tears. No, he said flatly. If you trusted me, this wouldn't exist. You wouldn't be planning for the divorce before we've even said I do. Travis, I'm not planning a divorce, Taylor cried, her hands trembling. I'm just being realistic. Realistic? Travis repeated, his voice cracking. Being realistic means you're already expecting this to end, and I can't marry someone who's preparing for the day we fail. The words hung between them, raw, heavy, irreversible. Taylor's voice came out barely above a whisper. What are you saying? I'm saying maybe we need to postpone the wedding, Travis said, her breath caught as if he'd struck her. No, please, Travis, don't say that. I'm not doing this to hurt you, he said quietly. But I can't marry someone who doesn't believe we'll last. Tears blurred her vision. Please, we can fix this. We can change it. We can do whatever you want. That's not the point, Travis said. It's not about the document. It's about the trust. And right now, I don't know how to find it again. He brushed past her into the house, grabbed a bag, and returned to the door. I love you, Taylor whispered, her whole body shaking. Please don't give up on us. Travis paused, his hand on the truck door. I love you too, he said softly. But love isn't enough if you don't trust me. Then he drove away, leaving her standing alone in the fading light, her heart breaking in the quiet of their home. For the next 2 days, silence settled over their lives like a fog. A few texts about the mail, a message about their dog Nora. Nothing more. No, I miss you. No, I'm sorry. Just the hollow space between two people who'd once felt inseparable. The internet, however, refused to stay quiet. Every outlet had an opinion. Sports commentators, celebrity gossip shows, fan accounts dissecting every line of the leaked prenup. Some called Taylor smart, others called her heartless. And in the middle of it all, Travis sat on Kelce's couch, scrolling through the noise and feeling like his world had fallen apart. Jason finally snatched the phone from his brother's hand. Okay, that's enough, he said. You've had 2 days to wallow. Now you're going to listen, Travis groaned. Jay, not now. Shut up, Jason interrupted, his voice firm but not unkind. I'm serious, Trav, you're hurt. You have every right to be. But are you really going to throw away the best thing in your life over a piece of paper? She doesn't trust me, Travis said bitterly. She had lawyers write out every possible way I could screw her over. She's scared, Jason said simply. There's a difference. Travis looked up. Scared? Yeah, Jason said, leaning forward. Think about what she's been through, man. Every breakup she's ever had turned into a headline. Every ex has talked, written songs, or sold stories. She's been burned publicly, again and again. You're asking her to forget all that, to risk everything again, and that's not easy, even when she loves you. Travis rubbed his hands over his face. But I've never given her a reason not to trust me. I know that, Jason said gently. But fear doesn't always listen to reason. You can't just tell her to stop being scared. You've got to help her feel safe. So what? I'm just supposed to accept that she thinks I'll betray her? Travis asked, his voice heavy with frustration. No, Jason said, shaking his head. You're supposed to understand why she feels that way, and then actually talk about it. Not yell, not accuse. Talk. Ask her why she made those choices. Ask her what she's afraid of, and tell her what you need too. Travis leaned back, staring at the ceiling for a long moment. She had a clause saying I could never talk about our relationship, like I'd sell her out. Did you ask her why? Jason said pointedly. Travis hesitated. No, I just got angry. Right, Jason said. So maybe start there. The words hung in the air for a long time before Travis finally nodded. That evening, he picked up his phone and typed, "Can we talk?" "Actually talk," the reply came instantly. "Yes, please come home." When Travis walked through the front door that evening, the house felt different, quiet, fragile, like one wrong word could make it shatter. Taylor was sitting on the couch in a faded hoodie, her hair pulled back, eyes swollen from days of crying. When she saw him, she stood up but didn't move closer. "Thank you for coming," she said softly. "We need to talk," Travis replied. "Really talk? Not yell, not accuse. Just be honest," she nodded, her voice barely a whisper. "Okay." They sat on opposite ends of the couch, the space between them feeling like a canyon. "Tell me about the confidentiality clause," Travis said quietly. "The one that says I can never talk about us. Where did that come from?" Taylor hesitated, then took a deep breath. "Have you ever read what my exes have said about me? The interviews, the songs, the tweets?" Her voice wavered. "Joe blamed me on TV. John wrote songs that made me sound crazy. Harry hinted I was impossible to date. Calvin went on a Twitter rant calling me controlling. And that's just the ones I actually dated. There are people I went out with twice who sold stories about me." She wiped her eyes. "Every relationship I've had has ended with someone profiting from it. Financially, professionally, publicly. So when my lawyers said, let's make sure that never happens again, I said yes. Every time. Because it sounded safe." Travis listened in silence, his anger softening into understanding. "I get it," he said finally. "I really do. But Taylor, that clause didn't just protect you from tabloids or opportunists. It protected you from me, the person you're supposed to trust most in this world." "I know," Taylor whispered. "And I'm sorry. My lawyers are trained to imagine the worst. They threw every possible nightmare at me, lawsuits, leaks, betrayal, and I just agreed because it felt logical. But love isn't logical, is it?" Travis gave a small, sad smile. "No, it's not." She looked at him, her voice trembling. "When I saw that thread leak, when I saw your face online, hurt, angry, humiliated, I realized how twisted it all was. I don't think you'd ever sell me out. I don't think you care about my money. I let fear make the decisions instead of love." Travis moved closer, his voice gentle. "Can I ask you something?" "Anything," she said. "If we don't have a prenup at all, if we just go into this with nothing but trust, what's the worst thing that could happen?" Taylor thought for a moment. "Worst case, we get divorced, and it's messy and painful and public. And if we do have a prenup?" he asked. She gave a broken laugh. "Same thing. Just with lawyers involved?" "Exactly," Travis said. "So the prenup doesn't protect you from pain. It just assumes it's coming." Taylor nodded slowly, realization dawning. "You're right. It doesn't protect me from heartbreak. It just keeps me from believing we could avoid it." Travis reached for her hand. "So what if we stop planning for failure and start planning for forever?" Taylor's tears spilled over again, but this time they were different, lighter. "That's what I want. I want to believe in us, in love, in something that isn't afraid of breaking." He smiled softly. "Then let's start there." They sat there for a long time. Hands intertwined, the silence between them finally soft instead of heavy. The kind of silence that follows understanding. I can't marry someone who's counting down 5 years until I'm entitled to something, Travis said quietly. I need to marry someone who can't imagine us ending at all. Taylor nodded, tears streaking down her cheeks. I can't imagine it, she said fiercely. These past few days without you were awful. I kept reaching for my phone to text you, then remembering why I couldn't. I can't lose you, Travis. The prenup was fear talking, not love. And I'm done letting fear run my life. Travis brushed his thumb over her hand. So what do we do now? Tear it up? Rewrite it? Taylor took a deep breath. What if we do something new? Something that's actually for us, not against us. What do you mean? He asked. What if we write an agreement together, but instead of planning for divorce, we plan for the marriage? Something that strengthens us, not separates us. Clauses like, if we ever hit a rough patch, we promise to go to therapy before giving up. If we argue, we talk, not post. No using money or work as weapons. Just rules for protecting the relationship, not the assets. Travis's eyes softened. A marriage agreement, not a prenup. Exactly, Taylor said, her voice steady for the first time in days. Something that says we're a team, that we're choosing love, not fear. He nodded slowly, the idea sinking in like sunlight through a storm. I can work with that, but I need one thing from you, Tay. Anything, she said. I need you to trust me, he said, his voice trembling with sincerity. Not because I'll never make mistakes, but because you believe I'd never hurt you on purpose. I need you to take that leap. Taylor looked at him, really looked at him. The man who had shown up for her through every headline, every performance, every quiet night at home. I can do that, she said through her tears. I want to do that. You're not them, Travis. And I'm sorry I ever made you feel like you were. Travis pulled her into his arms. And I'm sorry for walking away instead of trying to understand. I should have asked what scared you before I got angry. They held each other for a long time, both crying, both knowing that somehow this heartbreak had built something stronger than before. After a while, Taylor whispered, Can we agree on something? He smiled. What's that? No more secrets, she said. No more big decisions made alone. We face everything together, even the uncomfortable stuff. Especially the uncomfortable stuff, Travis agreed. 2 weeks later, they sat side by side at a long oak table, sunlight pouring through the kitchen windows as their lawyers waited patiently with open folders. But this time there was no tension, no sharp tones, no guarded looks. Just two people building something new. Page by page they rewrote everything together. Gone were the cold paragraphs about asset division and spousal rights. In their place were promises, real ones. Clauses about conflict resolution, about taking time to talk instead of walk away. Agreements about protecting each other's privacy, not out of fear, but out of respect. Vows to always choose communication over pride, forgiveness over silence, love over fear. Instead of a document that planned for separation, they created one that planned for survival, of their marriage, their partnership, and their faith in each other. When word eventually leaked that they'd rewritten the prenup, the headlines shifted overnight. Taylorswift and Traviskelce turned prenup scandal into symbol of trust. Inside the couple's marriage agreement that puts love before law. And for once, the internet wasn't cruel. People saw something real. A couple brave enough to turn their hardest fight into something beautiful. 5 months later, under a soft spring sky, Travis stood at the altar, looking at Taylor through tears. When it was his turn to speak his vows, he said, I promise to trust you more than I fear being hurt. I promise to plan for forever, not our ending. And even when we mess up, and we will mess up, I promise we'll always find our way back together. Taylor's voice trembled when she replied, I promise to choose love over fear, to trust you, not because you've earned it, but because that's what love means. No exit strategy, no backup plan, just you, me, and forever. And as they exchanged rings, the past faded, the fear, the leak, the arguments. What remained was what they'd rebuilt together. A love grounded not in perfection, but in understanding, because sometimes the biggest fights don't end relationships, they reveal the strength to rebuild them. And sometimes the only way to plan for forever is to stop preparing for the end.